Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Sports Vault Jersey. Joe Archino back here. And the UEFA Champions League round of 16 is in the full swing of things. Some results as of yesterday: PSG defeating Chelsea 2-1, and Benfica defeating Zenit St. Petersburg 1-0. Today we have another incredible match: Real Madrid in Roma. Real Madrid traveling to the Stadio Olimpico, and certainly we'll get into that matchup a little bit later. But I think the first match that we have to start off with is obviously Paris Saint-Germain against Chelsea. Really, it has become really a nice rivalry. Last year in the Champions League, these two really played and battled off against one another. And once again, we see this again as one of the headlines for the round of 16. And PSG walking away with the 2-1 win. And, I didn't get to watch the game as it happened. I watched it later in the day. I recorded it, and it seemed like the impressions everybody has are basically the same. Paris Saint-Germain was clearly the better side here, and they really dominated it heavily. But it's one of those things where you look at Paris Saint-Germain, and they have a firm Darth Vader-sized chokehold over Ligue 1. I mean, they really have that league. You look at the numbers right now. They have 70 points, and really they lead Ligue 1 with 24 points. I mean, there is no one in the same stratosphere as Paris Saint-Germain. Just the amount of talent that they have, it really culminates in that firm control over that league. And, I question with Paris Saint-Germain sometimes their ability when it comes to playing the other top clubs in Europe, because let's be honest, Ligue 1 is not in the same stratosphere as Italian Serie A or the German Bundesliga or the English Premier League or even La Liga for that matter. It is certainly a little bit lower in that regard. PSG has the talent and really can stand toe-to-toe with those other clubs, but sometimes I think you worry in this competition because they are not hardened or battle-tested against the other really top clubs because there's just not that same level of competition. If you're a club like Chelsea, who's had a very down year for all intents and purposes, coming off of the English Premier League title, they've had a very down year, but, since the Jose Mourinho, since he was given the door out, I think they've really started to kind of play a little bit better. Now, again, nothing has been pretty for Chelsea this season, but coming into this match yesterday that they lost, they were unbeaten in their last 10 Premier League matches, which really says something. They beat Arsenal 1-0, which was a huge, huge victory for them. So Chelsea came into this game playing very well, and PSG, of course, came into this game really with that firm control over Ligue 1. But I think the biggest takeaway that a lot of people have from this is, it was largely controlled by Paris Saint-Germain, but I look at that and I say, well, did they really fully control it? I mean, they did win 2-1. They were not happy at all about conceding that away goal because, again, we know the way aggregate works. Those away goals really can come back to hurt you. And now that you have to go to Stamford Bridge and play Chelsea, that could be very interesting because I did like Chelsea coming into the matchup for the reasons I said before. Chelsea was unbeaten in their last 10 Premier League matches. They had that big win against Arsenal, which I think boosted their confidence up. And again, the battle hardened and being tested is just not there on the Paris Saint-Germain side like it is for an English Premier League club, but they did take care of business at home. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, of course, with the first goal for them, and Cavani scoring a goal for them late in. Depth really matters when it comes to these competitions. It just does. I mean, if you're a club and you're able to have players like Angel Di Maria and Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Cavani and all of these incredible players, Thiago Silva, they have so much depth in so many areas, and it really comes through. But, I think the next matchup we have with Chelsea getting back at their home field advantage, that could certainly play interesting. And the fact that they're able to walk away with a goal here, again, I'm not writing Chelsea off right away. Are they more of a defensive-oriented club right now? I think that they probably are, but at the same time, you don't want to get a guy like Diego Costa going because he does have the ability to score in bunches, and I definitely think Chelsea is still alive, and if people who think that PSG dominated every phase of that first leg, I think you're a little bit wrong. They did have a very impressive result. They did control it for the most part, but there are things there that show you that Chelsea's got a fighting chance in this next one, and I certainly think that they really will make it a game in the next one, but we will get to that when it is due time. Other than that, though, the matchup we have today, which I think it excites us all tremendously, is Real Madrid going to the Stadio Olimpico to take on Roma. And, Roma is one of those sides where they've really, really started to put together. We kind of know Rudy Garcia was shown the way out, and Luciano Spalletti is back with Roma, and he has done an incredible job since he has come back. He came into that situation, and Roma really struggled with their offensive identity. Last season in Serie A, Roma, out of the top 6 clubs, had the fewest goals, 54. That is a major concern, and it continued into this season. But he's really, I think, pushed his motto right to the front of the table, and the players are starting to really accept that. And they're on a 4-match winning streak right now, and they put up impressive goals in those results. A 3-1 win against Frosinone, 2-0 against Sassuolo, 2-1 against Sampdoria, and a 3-1 win against Carpi. Aside from the 1-0 loss to Juve, and let's be honest, we know at this point Juve is the best club in Serie A. I mean, they're on a 15-match winning streak. So and he really, that was his first match, his first real match where he got to spend time with the players to prepare them for against Juventus. So I think that right there is extremely impressive that he's been able to find this little bit of scoring edge to Roma, and he's really has this club playing the best that they've played all season. They've really crept their way up to 3rd place in Serie A. And Roma really seemed like, it was the dog days of this club just a little time ago with Rudy Garcia, but they've been revitalized with Luciano Spalletti, and having the home field advantage against a very, very dangerous Real Madrid side, it could be big in their favor. Now, the biggest thing here is, how are you going to stop that offensive juggernaut of Real Madrid? And we kind of know, kind of like Roma has taken to their new manager, so has Real Madrid with their new manager and Zidane. And I think Zidane is kind of the guy where, we all know Rafa Benitez, it didn't work. It was really a complete disaster, and it was all really a case in point when they lost 4-0 to Barcelona. But he was a guy that the players really, I don't think, had the respect for. Zidane was a player. He really is around that age where I think they can all really connect with him, and he says the right things. Obviously, there's no problems with Ronaldo, which there was with Benitez. If you can't get along with Ronaldo, that is the biggest problem right off the bat. He does get along with him, and I think right now they're in a very good position as well. You look at what they have done, and the goals have certainly continued to come for them as well. Since Zidane has taken over, really, they're 5-1-0, so the numbers have been impressive. Ronaldo's climbing back up the scoring table. He's got 21 goals in La Liga, right behind Suarez, who's leading and just has been incredible. But, I think you look at this one, and Roma's got a chance. I'm not picking Roma to come out of this one, of course, because it's Real Madrid. They're one of the most stacked powerhouses in world football, but Roma certainly has a chance. I think Italian sides give the rest of the world a lot of problems because their style and brand of football is so different from everyone else. When you're not going up, and when we see it in the Bundesliga, when a German side takes on an Italian side in the Champions League, they usually have a lot of problems because of the pacing, because of the physicality, because of the defensive mindset. It is a different brand of football, and it's difficult to get acclimated to that on such a short notice when you're not constantly playing against that type of football. So I think Real Madrid's going to have their frustrations. It's going to be, Roma's got a fighting chance, but of course it is Real Madrid, and they have the second best player in the world in Ronaldo. They have depth and balance all over the place. On the defensive side, Sergio Ramos leading that, being the catalyst for that driving force. And then, of course, we know the dynamic scoring that they're able to perform. But, with Roma now kind of having an offensive edge to them, it definitely makes it a little bit interesting having the Stadio Olimpico the first off the bat, but Real Madrid just still too good, and I don't think any of us are really going to pick against them. If Real Madrid continues to move ahead and they face the Juventus again, I think that might wield similar results. Never forget last year in the Champions League, Juventus, and how many people picked Juventus to pull off the upset and to beat Real Madrid. Not many, but they were able to because they had superior goaltending from Buffon. Chiellini really was an instrumental piece in really neutral. I mean, in the second leg that Juve and Real Madrid played, I'm not sure if I've ever seen another defense make Ronaldo look so obsolete. I mean, you could hardly tell he was on the pitch at times. Italian sides just inherently give you a lot of problems. It's just the nature that they play, and it's very difficult to get adjusted to. I think it will certainly be an interesting match to watch, but Ronaldo, someone on Real Madrid, will find the goals. There will be frustrations early, but they will find a way. And certainly, it's just a great time with the Champions League. Next week, I can't wait to be sitting right here again. Arsenal, Barcelona. We have Juventus, Bayern Munich. It really, you can't get much better. These round of 16 matchups are great. I mean, the rematch of Chelsea and Paris Saint-Germain. You have today Real Madrid and Roma. Next week, you have two other incredible ones. It is a great time, and we'll be here for all of them. Until then, though, Jersey Joe Archino here with the Sports Vault. You could follow me on Twitter at Joe Archino, on Instagram Jersey_Joe_Archino, and we'll see everybody next time.